Hey there, welcome back to the podcast. I hope you're having a great summer with your family, spending lots of time outside. That's what I'm doing a lot with mine. Just wanted to drop in real quick here with a timely episode around Trump accounts. I've just been getting tons of questions about these from clients, friends, family. They're in the news quite a bit, right? Just because of the name after the current president and these just kind of being live on July 4th. So I'm going to talk about what they are, kind of how to think about them, why I'm not recommending most folks contribute to these, and what I recommend to do instead for your kids. So let's get into it. Welcome. I'm Erik Baskin, an Air Force Academy graduate, turned veteran entrepreneur, and certified financial planner. I help military families and veteran business owners achieve financial freedom. Okay, so what is a Trump account or a 530A? That's the number and letter of the tax code in which this account is formed. So what are these accounts? They are billed as retirement accounts for your kids, right? So you can help them save for retirement when they're still kids, they're not earning money. So if you're born between 2025 and 2028, you'll get a free $1,000 from the government to your child's Trump account. There's also certain zip codes in which you can get a free $250 from the Dell Foundation. So I'll put links to look those zip codes up in the show notes. There's other institutions and other businesses coming out and saying, hey, we're going to contribute on behalf of our employees. So there's some free money out there from the government or charitable foundations or employers, and we always take free money, right? So when I'm talking about Trump account contributions for most of this show, it's going to be talking about you contributing your own after-tax dollars to your child's account. We always like free money and we always take it. So I'm never recommending you don't take that. But this Trump account can receive that money from the government or other institutions. Then from you, the family, you can contribute up to $5,000 per year of your own money per child until they're 18 years old. It has to be invested in a U.S. equity index fund. It's automatically invested. I just had my daughter Sophia's Trump account opened just this week and just got a notification yesterday that it's been invested in just the S&P 500 index fund. It's locked. You can't do anything until they're 18. Then it kind of converts to a normal traditional IRA where the earnings component would be taxed as ordinary income upon withdrawal or conversion. And then the contribution component would not be taxed because that's after-tax dollars. So that's what Trump accounts are. They've been billed essentially as help your kids for something other than college, right? Typically college or child savings is typically like a 529 account for secondary education, post-secondary education. This is an account that's supposed to be for them to start a business, buy a house, maybe save for retirement someday, whatever it may be. So there's problems with this account and the overall arching, I guess, theme of this that I'll talk about it now and at the end. This account, for the people that it would be very good for, the people that need to help their kids with retirements, the people that their kids could maybe convert some of these dollars to Roth IRA at really low income tax rates when they're 18, 19, 20 years old. For those folks, typically they should probably be saving in 529s for college because they're going to have to pay for college for their kids. For families that have way more than enough, right? We're talking about generational giving to your kids, etc. Really high tax brackets because they're high net worth, high income. For those families, it's not going to make sense because of the tax problems in this account because those withdrawals are ordinary income, and we'll get into that. So the three problems. Number one is the Kiddie Tax and the math of tax brackets. Number two is the overall inflexibility of these accounts. And number three is the state tax problems. So those are the three problems. Number one, Kiddie Tax. So what is Kiddie Tax? Basically, when your kid turns 18 and they go to college, or 19, they go to college, or maybe they're working a job, whatever. A lot of families are supporting their children until they're at least 22, 23 years old these days. If you're providing at least half of your child's support and you're listing them as dependent on your tax return, if they incur any income, right? So if they're to convert some of these Trump account dollars from traditional to Roth, maybe at some low tax brackets because they're not making a lot of money, most of that will be taxed at your income rate, the parent's income rate. So the Kiddie Tax allows for us to realize $1,350 tax-free completely from a child's account. And then the next $1,350 of income is taxed at the child's rate, which sometimes is 0% or very low. After that, it's taxed at the parent's rate if they're a child, right? And by child, I mean a dependent. This could be a 20-year-old, a sophomore in college, somebody living in your basement, working a job, whatever it is. So the problem with these Trump accounts is for a lot of these families, that perfect range in which we might contribute to this account over time, let it grow and compound, and kind of use a long-term backdoor Roth IRA strategy. It's something that I looked at very deeply before I came out with this guidance for my clients and came out with this episode. That was kind of my thought process. We'll contribute to this account $5,000 a year, let it compound, and we'll kind of convert when your kid is, making no money as a college kid. Well, that doesn't work because of the kiddie tax. That's a huge, huge, huge problem. So with that, we don't want to pay ordinary income rate on that money, right? At the parents' rate. Sometimes parents, a lot of times, are in the 24, 37% bracket. They've got state tax. That's a terrible trade compared to like a taxable brokerage account, right? Where we're going to pay 15% a lot of times on capital gains, 20% max, and we have total flexibility. So I don't like paying ordinary income rates. Now, back to what I said at the beginning of this. For those families with kids that are really, let's just say, high earning families that are doctors, lawyers, etc., guess what? Their kids are probably going to be pretty high earning. So even when they graduate at 22, 23, 24 years old, a lot of these kids are going to be going off to really good incomes in really high earning jobs, sometimes making six figures. What does that do to their tax bracket? It immediately puts them, in the 22, sometimes 24% tax bracket, even when they're at their first job, right? Again, how do we compare that to now what they could get in a taxable brokerage account by realizing some of these gains compared to withdrawing at those high income tax rates? So because of the kiddie tax problem, and again, for those families where their kids are going to go earn lots of money, they're going to have lots of money to contribute to Trump accounts, everyone's going to be in a high tax bracket. So we don't want to put money into a growing tax bomb like this when we can just have it in a taxable brokerage account that is much more flexible. We can donate shares to charity someday. We can harvest gains, harvest losses. We can give away shares at death and get a full step up in basis and pay no tax. We just have total flexibility and control over that account. So problem one is kiddie tax. Problem two, they're super, super inflexible, right? So they have to be in a certain account. They have to be in a certain, right now it's at BNY and Robinhood. I don't have a Robinhood account. I don't have a BNY account. So it's another institution. You're only allowed to invest in US equities, which US equities are generally a good thing, but we're also shunning 35% of the global stock market when we're doing that. Your kids gain 100% ownership of these accounts right at 18, and then they have two options: withdraw or convert these funds or let them grow. They just aren't in a spot to get that account. It could be a couple $100,000 at that point if we're maxing it out every year. And then they're not really in a spot to understand a lot of times the tax implications around that account. On the record keeping side, these accounts are super unique because they have both after-tax contributions, which is like your family $5,000 per year contribution, and they also have growth on those assets. So part of that is taxable, part of it's not. This is not normal. No other account is like this, right? In a traditional 401k or IRA, we're contributing pre-tax dollars, right? We're not being taxed, and everything in the account is growing, and then it's all taxable on the way out. In a Roth account, we're contributing post-tax dollars, where we've already paid the tax on the contribution, and then everything's tax-free. So when we take the money out, there's no taxes. This is a very unique account where the government didn't really decide, when do we want to pay taxes on this account? We're contributing post-tax dollars, and then we're also paying tax on the way out. It's very, very unique in that regard, and is going to require very, very tight record keeping. Okay, so inflexibility and record keeping issues are problem number two. Problem number three, as of today, as of this recording, early July 2026, when these became live, state tax problems. There's several states, as of today, California being one of them, that plan to tax earnings and dividends inside of Trump accounts as taxable income. So the government, the federal government, as this account grows, let's say you don't make any trades, but there's going to be dividends in this account that would be normally taxed if it was a taxable brokerage account. There are states that plan to tax those dividends and tax this account every year as a normal brokerage account. That's very difficult just from a record keeping perspective. Again, very unique. Never see this across any account that we have. If something's federally exempt from taxes in a shelter like an IRA, HSA, 529, whatever it is, it's always state tax exempt. Trump accounts are not that way at the time of this recording. So huge, huge headache, and also obviously reduces the effectiveness of that tax-free shelter. Okay, so all that being said, not recommending contributions for any family to these accounts for those reasons I listed above. But the one thing you still do, I'll leave it in the show notes. Your child was born 2025 to 2028. Go get the free $1,000 seed, let it compound. $1,000 at 7% for 18 years is about $3,400 at age 18 for no cost to you. So free money on the table. The Dell Foundation is contributing $250 to certain zip codes where families on average make less than $150,000 or something like that. Again, I'll put a link to that in the show notes. Look for your employer. If you work for an employer that makes Trump account contributions, definitely open one. Have your employer contribute money to it. That's a no-brainer. We don't turn down free money. Okay. Now that being said, if I'm telling you don't contribute to a Trump account, what should you be doing? Okay. On day one, open a 529, contribute $100 a month to it. Done the math. This is my basic recommendation with the new guidelines on 529s that we can convert $35,000 to a Roth IRA if it's been open for 15 years. Basically about $100 a month, $125 a month, somewhere in there, depending on returns, is going to compound to 35 grand when the child is 18. Let's say they get a scholarship or you have GI Bill, etc., and you don't need the money. We can then give them a nice boost, $35,000 to their Roth IRA at that time. So that's like my baseline recommendation as kind of a long-term backdoor Roth strategy, regardless of your thoughts and family beliefs around college funding. Anything beyond that is kind of up to you as a family, how you think about college, what you expect to pay, what are your funding sources, etc. Some families need to contribute $250, $500 a month starting at birth because they want to send their kids to expensive schools. Others have lots of funding sources, family money available, GI Bill, etc., and they don't need to do that. So anything past that, college savings, I like it in a parent-owned taxable brokerage, honestly, just in your name. You can make a separate account for the kid if you want, each child, and say, hey, we're designating this as their account, but I believe it should be in your name. I don't think an UPMA account is worth the hassle. Some folks have them. They're, again, back to Kiddie Tax. We get $1,350 tax-free, right? So there's some tax benefits in there. Another $1,350 taxed at the child's rate of income each year. But the parent brokerage gives you full control of that asset and a step up in basis in case of death. Again, that UPMA I don't love because increases complexity and also the kid gets it at 18 no matter what. So when we put funds in that UPMA, it is automatically that child's money. We can't touch it. We can't take it away. And when they turn 18, they can do whatever they want with it. So the early years, again, 529, at least $100 a month. Any overflow into a brokerage account, obviously 529 up to your family beliefs and needs around college funding. Okay, in the teenage years, when they're 12, 13, 14, maybe they're going to get a summer job. Any moment they have earned income, we want to fund their Roth IRA. So we give them the cash to fund their Roth IRA. Super, super powerful. We get to start compounding money in a tax-free vehicle for, you just do the math from 15 to 65. That's 50 years, maybe 50 or more years for your child. So super, super powerful. We definitely want to do that right when they have earned income. After that 529 has been open for 15 or more years, once we know the child doesn't need part of that money, again, we want to get money into that Roth IRA right now. That's $35,000 lifetime cap. We can make contributions each year from the 529 up to $7,500, which is in 2026 the max. So kind of in those teenage years into college, it's obviously using money for college like as you need. But other than that, it's how do we get money into the Roth IRA, right? Is it directly because they have some earned income? Is it backdoor kind of from the 529? Those are really the two main ways to get money into the Roth IRA. Beyond that, it's just continuing to invest in a taxable brokerage account that's parent owned, really until you're comfortable giving that money to the kid in their 20s or something for down payment on a house, start a business, get married, etc. And then when they're in that young adult phase now, like that could be 24-year-old or 22-year-old or 26-year-old or whatever it is, it's just if we want to give to the kids, they have their own, they can have their own investment account, they're adults, they have real income, etc. It's just, I believe it's investing money. If you want to have control of it, continue that parent-owned brokerage account. But if you want to start giving it to the kids, it's 2026 numbers, it's $19,000 per parent for $38,000 per couple that we can give to our kids. If the kid has a spouse, right, that's 38 to the husband, 38 to the spouse, or 38 to your kid, 38 to their spouse. They fund their own accounts with that money or fund a business or payment on a house, whatever it is. So that's how much we can give to our kids each year. Paying tuition and medical bills directly to the institution or provider is another way to do this. So this is another really good way to give to your kids and not have any tax implications. So back to that annual gifts for kids. Those are the limits where you don't have to report it to the IRS or anything. It's an annual exclusion. There's a lifetime exclusion of $15 million per person or $30 million per couple. A lot of folks won't have trouble with that. But once we start giving over that $19,000 $38 per couple, we have to start reporting that on a gift tax form to the IRS each year. And that eats into our lifetime exemption. So more of just a record keeping headache more than anything, but not usually a tax implication to a lot of families. Okay, so in summary, not recommending Trump accounts beyond any free money at this time. Again, legislation could change that, and I would obviously come out with different thoughts and guidance around that. But as of today, in early July 2026, not recommending Trump account contributions for families beyond any of the free money. So instead, I recommend at least $100 a month to a 529 on day one for a child, parent brokerage beyond that, and or other 529 savings, Roth IRA contributions the day that they start having earned income, rolling that 529 into a Roth when they're eligible, continuing the parent brokerage in 529. And then when they're a young adult, it's those annual cash gifts or direct tuition and medical payments to the provider. So that's all I got today. I hope this was helpful, framing my thoughts and beliefs around Trump accounts and child savings. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you back next time. Thanks. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back with some more content to help you on your journey to financial freedom. See you then. This is a friendly reminder that the podcast is general and educational in nature and does not constitute tax, investment, legal, or financial advice with respect to any particular individual or taxpayer. Please consult with your own tax, legal, financial, and other advisors regarding your own unique situation.